Dun 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 dun. It's that time of the week. Dun 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 dun. It's that time. Let's go, yo! Let's go! Hold up, man. Not only are we here for a wonderful Thursday, we're early. We're doing big things. Hold on, where's my camera at? Dude, I think I almost dropped this thing. Oh, wait. We're here. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know if my audio is good. Dude. I think we're Gucci. Look at that. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in there like swimwear. I am so hyped for this, man. I am so hyped, bro. We are early today. Audio good? Audio Apu? Thank you, Sue, bruh. Thank you, Pluto. GoldenEye was good. Noel Coach was Super Saiyan. Bro, I didn't go Super Saiyan. It's just, there's a certain level in which we all need to reach in order to reach our peak. You know what I mean? And today, since my hair wouldn't listen to me, I was like, yo, I gotta be the most free. Free in the sea like my boy Monkey D. So the hair had to go up. Now, I don't know if you see it, but my hair is white right now. What does that mean? It means the drums of liberation are coursing through, but I don't know if you see the same. I don't know if YouTube is allowing you to see the same thing that I'm seeing. Because the WG doesn't want anyone to see Nika. They don't want anybody to see the Joy Boy. So, they don't want people to see it. They're not going to show it. So, for me, my hair is glowing. We in there like swimwear. And because we are in there like swimwear, today, on this marvelous day in a great week, where we are going to be celebrating the return of the anime on Sunday as it heads into the climax, or I should say the road to the climax of Onigashima. Here in the manga, we are going to be celebrating another installment, the latest installment, in what has been the most legendary final saga to date. Barring from chapter 1054 until now in 1078, it has been a marvelous treat each and every single week here on Egghead Island. And so today, what is going to be in store for us? Are we going to see insanity? Yes. Are we going to see craziness? Yes. It's just we don't know the what, we don't know the how, we don't know the who, and that's what's about to make this a legendary experience in the best-selling manga in history, nearly the best-selling comic of all time, running in there. My boy Oda's out here talking to musicians. He's cooking on his grill. He's got the barbecue sauce going in around 450 degrees. Trust me, I know. I used to work in a restaurant. You're cooking that thing at 450 degrees Fahrenheit, potentially sometimes 455 degrees Fahrenheit. He's letting that thing simmer. He's letting that thing cook. And I'm sitting here waiting on the outside. I'm talking to the waiter, and the waiter's like, yo, what would you like today, sir? And I was like, my boy, I want chapter 1078 of the world. Peace! Let's go, boys! Listen! And I want that thing with extra barbecue sauce on it. Stop playing with Ichiro Oda's One Piece. Alright? It is time for me to read some greatness. Prepared with some extra water today. Let's go. I'm ready. Your boy is ready for some peak, man. What in the world are we in for today, man? Shout out to, of course, my people for letting me know chapter was out and whatnot. Greatly appreciated. As well as the people who told me on Sunday. I was like, man, dude, I was chilling, getting ready for the work week, and I was told the spoilers dropped on Sunday. I was like, Sunday? It was like the last time I had to avoid a chapter like this, I think, was like, I don't even remember. I think it would have been like 1060, where I was told on like a Sunday or a Saturday to get. I was like, bro, this is ridiculous. Like, the thing is, right? We can handle Monday at this point. I'm so used to it. When you start going to Sunday, Saturday, or like the Gear 5 chapter Friday, it's like, bro, out here waiting a whole week and not being able to touch anything. But it's all worth it in the end for the peak, man. So here we go. Nothing but love to everybody in the chat. Thank you for stopping by. I know that we're here earlier than usual, so the people who normally show up either at nighttime or in the middle of the day, more than likely going to miss this stream, but I greatly apologize for that, but we're here. We're here for some greatness. Here we go. One Piece chapter 1078. Is that a Vinland Saga ad? Oh, that's how I know we're in for some peak. One Piece chapter 1078. The escape limit. We're escaping Egghead? Is this the chapter? Escape limit. Yo, I don't know why that title... it was giving me goosebumps, dude. Like, what does that mean? Escape limit. So here we see Judge and Caesar, who are having a fine and dandy day. They're actually celebrating. Dribble 66, I'm going to assume my boy just signed him for a max 5-year contract. Look at all this confetti. Yo, the Germa soldiers are wilding out in the back. Reiju sighing in the left. Ichiji sighing on the right. Looks like they didn't want this to happen. Caesar and Judge. Germa 66's Cold-Blooded Voyage, Volume 33. And so, Neo-Mads was found. Neo-Mads! Yo, for my Toriko fans out there. Neo Acacia. You know what I mean? Neo Acacia. Whoa! Members! Eiji Mandias and Shinmen Takizo. Shout out to Vagabond. Thank y'all for joining the membership, man. I greatly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate y'all, man. Thank you so much for becoming members. For joining the Kingdom of Awesome Sauce. So, Neo-Mads was formed. Neo Acacia's out here. I'm sorry, I can't get off the title. The title's like destroying my brain. Escape. I gotta see. Is this the chapter where we're going to be spreading from Egghead, bro? I thought I didn't know anything about Chikawa, but it turns out I've been using Nagano-san stamps online for ages. I publicly admit defeat. So this is something that I have no idea what Oda's talking about, but if Oda's talking about it, my boy's spitting. Just know that he's spitting, alright? I don't know what he's saying, but he's spitting. Lab Interior. Oh my god, this is going to be the chapter. This is going to be the chapter. Lab Interior, Egghead, the Island of the Future. Uncle Kizaru's... He knows. Sentomaru knows that Unc. O'Shea Sharp. Coming in there with a black and mild. He's coming in, man, at the speed of light. Oh, Kizaru. Who's on the other end of the line? So someone is letting Sentomaru know that Kizaru is on the way. Someone is relaying this information to Sentomaru. And we see where Luffy and them are. Second floor, building B. Stussy. How does Stussy know? Second floor, building B. That's right, because if I'm not mistaken, I believe that an order was given out. And she potentially picked up on it right back in chapter 1072, somewhere on there. It must have been somewhere on there. Second floor, building B. That's right. CP0 was meant to wait for his arrival after eliminating the doctor. So they were originally sent here to accompany, right, Kizaru on this mission in regards to wait for his arrival. But of course, no one could have anticipated an emperor showing up. Right, like Yonko Monkey D came here and that changed everything. That changed all of the plans. So the government pulling out all the stops, huh? Sending an admiral, bro. And saying J. Garcia Saturn. Indeed, I think they consider this incident to be far more severe than O'Hara. They are adding on to what they said last week. Last week, one of the biggest things that they were talking about was this is an incident that's going to make Egghead Island into ground zero, right? It's going to turn it into a place that might cease to exist once they are finished with it. So, second floor, building B. For one, the doctor not only continued the scholar's forbidden research, he's taken it much further. And we see that within Egghead Island for how futuristic it is and stuff of that nature in regards to all the different things that that Vegapunk has managed to do with the knowledge that he gained from, not only just from O'Hara, but I'm going to assume from his own escapades as well, right, in regards to futuristic / prehistoric technology, which is really cool when you put it that way, right? Like, prehistoric technology within One Piece, or at the very least, Void Century technology, or within the Void Century technology, is the future, right? So, he's pretty much just trying to make mankind catch up to where they once were, and then take them even further than that. Right, but of course we don't have that power source that he's been talking about. Or maybe we do, because we still don't know what that is. So Stussy confirmed to be the one talking to Sentomaru here. Let me read this again. For one, the doctor not only continued the scholar's forbidden research, he's taken it much further. Second, unlike O'Hara, Egghead actually has formidable combative and defensive capabilities. And we see that with the lasers that automatically turn on, right? The security cameras, there's multiple different things that, because it is a futuristic place, it is naturally going to have way more defensive capabilities than a place like an O'Hara. So that is a great point. It's taken a much second, unlike O'Hara, it is actually has formidable combative and defensive capabilities. When you put it like that, it's no surprise they're coming loaded for bear. Call me if there's any developments. And Jinbei heads off with Stussy. All the other transponders on the Labo Stratum are down. Factory A Fabrio Stratum. So, right here, all the other transponders on the Labo Stratum are down. That is a confirmation from Stussy herself that every other transponder besides the one they're utilizing here is down. So, anyone who's for the Stussy trader theories, her thing is the only one that's working, right? So, her Denden Mushi is the only one that's working. Then by the sweet mother of Flagnars, that makes it pretty suspicious to me. You feel me? That makes it pretty suspicious to me. So, Factory A Fabrio Stratum. You heard the lady. So we look over to Sentomaru, who is speaking in front of the people here. The Navy's going to try and repeat history here, so learn from it. You can't afford to hesitate. Prepare the ships, we need to get off the island. And so here is the escape from the title of the chapter. That they're going to try to get as many people out of here as possible because it's going to turn into ground zero. Quickly, before the Marines show, listen to Sentomaru-san. I love how this is coming from Sentomaru, somebody who served as a bodyguard, right, to Vegapunk for all this time, and also has accompanied Kizaru on these missions before, is now like, you know what? We need to prioritize the safety of the individuals here. They are attempting to do something that is inhumane. They are attempting to wipe out absolutely everything that has been done here. Years upon years of research and also human lives in order to ensure that none of this stuff makes it out into the outside world. And it's like Sentomaru's like, with his own sense of justice, we can't afford to have something like that. We can't afford to have something like that. So we have a panel here of everybody running out, getting out of Futurama. Third floor, lab building C, Usopp, Lilith. And of course, we know that they were turned to stone last chapter. Yeah, damn, brat. Oh yeah, because Frankie was half. And he's like, he's winding it up. Gear 5 style. He's winding it up. Even if my right side's frozen solid, my left can still pack a punch. You tell her again, Frankie. Even if my right side's frozen solid, I still got my left. I can be Ricardo Martinez. Shout out to anybody who reads Ippo in the chat. I got a strong left. That's all I need. That's all I need. Bah, just a couple jabs. And we know Frankie can box. We know he can box. You don't want to see this man in a thing of lefts? Strong left arm. I mean, he's gonna be boxing. You better not even get close to me. And honestly, you don't even have to get close to Frankie. Frankie has that chain thing where he can extend his hand regardless, right? Of course, being heavily inspired by like the Messengers and the Gundams, right? And his ability to extend his hand for like a rocket punch or something. So Usopp and Lilith are still frozen here. The bubble gun is on the floor as Hancock, the S-Snake, is looking at Frankie. I'll if you repent, I'll let you off easy. If you repent. What a line. So we see Usopp and Lilith here. Clatter. Yo, I was like, brother, I haven't seen my dog in ages. My boy Pythagoras, man. Uh-oh. Why, S-Snake? Who ordered you to do this? And with no regard for human life. Like S-Snake is LeBron James in that one call. I mean, she takes her foot in classic Pixar fashion and goes in to just take out Pythagoras. Like, brother, Pythagoras is a head. A head with a little wind-up toy on top. No longer has the body. And still no regard for human life. Hey, I respect individuals who have no regard for human life. I do. I respect it, man. I respect it. So, crush. Pythagoras got taken out? Pythagoras! Yo, Hancock is playing no games. Turns Lilith and Usopp to stone. Then goes around to Pythagoras. Steps on him. Just... oh, man. Massive explosion. Frankie, wait. I said wait. See, this... yo, every single person within the One Piece verse needs to be thanking the heavens themselves that the real Hancock is in love with Monkey D. Because if the real Hancock was not in love with Monkey D, and she was set free like this, to go off like this, who's stopping her? Certainly not any male with eyes. I can promise you that. You're going to eliminate half of the population from being able to stop Hancock. So everyone on the planet better be, saying their, thank you, Lord. That the real Hancock is in love with Monkey D. It'd be devastating. It would be devastating, dog. Wait. I said wait. And the thing is, right, is that this Hancock, of course, doesn't have a conscience, or at least as far as we're aware, she doesn't have a conscience. So she's just going in, stepping on dude over here, turning people to stone over here. No regard. No regard. So I guess that's also a factor in it as well, right? But man, second floor building A. And we cut over to something else. It looks like this is another chapter of the last week where we just keep cutting to different things, right? Second floor building A. All those screams and explosions. Here we see Atlas, Chopper, and Robin. Robin Senpai looking good. All those screams and explosions. I hope everyone's alright. I tried checking. It seems the Seraphim are running amok. You're mistaken. That doesn't make any sense. So Atlas is like, there's no way that the S units could be running amok. There's just no way. That is impossible. You are mistaken. That is something that cannot take place. Right? I just noticed that Chopper's also rocking the Captain Morgan thing right here. So here we go. One thing's for sure, when Nami screams, a certain someone will always dash to her aid in an instant. Dude, I love that's coming from Robin, because that's coming from Robin from experience. Back in chapter 1004, right? 1004? 1005? in Wano, we got to see that, right? Even though Robin wasn't screaming, right up in that swim where Sanji showed up. She knows that better than anyone, that when a woman's tears hit the floor, especially if it's Nami or Robin, Sanji's there. Sanji's gonna instant transmission there, like how Minato's thing activates with a certain thing. That's how Sanji's gonna show up. Instant transmission when something like that take place. And I love that Robin is reaffirming that case because, like I said, she herself has gone through it. We should focus. I bet everyone's pinned down. Since they're all fighting, what if something happens to Vegapunk's main body while they're distracted? Bro, that's exactly... Robin's IQ is at the top of the top of the top of the list. Because that is exactly what is going down right now. While we are all fighting, down in the depths of this stratum, you have Shaka getting wiped out. I mean, he got pistol whipped. You want to talk about prime Call of Duty days? Taking on a Desert Eagle or a Magnum back when they could one-shot, mind you. Or playing SWAT on Halo 1, 2, 3, or Reach, ladies and gentlemen. You take out that classic Halo 1 pistol, you can hear it in your bah, bah. Whoever is down there, currently taking out Shaka, potentially even going towards the main body of Vegapunk next, that individual was a Halo 1 pro at SWAT. Like, you can't just go against these individuals like this without a plan. So, Robin's like, listen, they're all fighting. If something happens to Vegapunk's main body while we're distracted, it's like, yo, we gotta go take care of the scenario. So, I wonder, if Robin and Atlas and Chopper are heading in that direction, does that mean Robin's gonna run into the person that's behind all of this? That reminds me, there's a room that's been sealed off for a while now. I wrote it off since the place isn't very useful, maybe. We should go check. We should go check. Lead the way, Atlas. So there's a room that's been sealed off for a while. I wrote it off since the place isn't very useful. Is she referring to the room in which Kuma's memories are located in? With Bonnie? Or is there another room that's also sealed off within Egghead Island? We should go check Lead the Way, Atlas. We see them all running. You got it. 3rd floor, building A. Oh, this is Sanji. Edison, hang in there. So here we have Nami, Edison, Brooke. Brooke. Edison, hang in there. Oh, well, I'm off to scour Vegapunk. Wait, Sanji-san, look out. So, Brooke, hey. If Brooke is the one to once again find out who the traitor is, then for another arc, Brooke will be the MVP. You know what I mean? He was the MVP of Whole Cake. And so if he goes up in like somewhere here, then man, he might just be the MVP of Egghead. So shout out to Brooke if he manages to find the traitor here in this state. So Seraphim Jinbei comes right back, punches Sanji, who is just standing there. He's not even blocking. He has his arms crossed. He's not even gonna block an S-Unit's attack. It's beneath him. He's not on his level. He's Lu Bu, and the other people are level 1. Oh, man. Yo. Oh, Sanji's just like, yo. Go ahead. He decked him in his grill. And Sanji ate that junk. Arms crossed. No. Yo! Black leg Sanji, man. Dude, 2 back-to-back raw fire moments for Sanji? We love to see it. So, Seraphim Jinbei's like, yo, what is going on? Pulls back his fist, and Sanji's like, yo, don't act so surprised. This is the undying power of love. You tell him. You tell him. I learned that from Sailor Moon. What was the name of that song? It was like that. I don't remember. But I learned that from Sailor Moon. Don't act so surprised. This is the undying power of love. Sanji's just standing there. Hawaiian shirt and all. He's got the people's chancletas on. He's ready to go to Hawaii to go meet up with my boy Joe Dio. He's ready. He's ready to go to Hawaii. 4th floor, building A. And we see Zoro and the king. So yeah, we really are flipping from side to side, side to side. Very similar to last week's chapter. So Sanji tanks an attack. 4th floor, building A. We see the king and Zoro. Those flames. Why aren't their backs going out? And where's Lucci and Kaku? Forget that. Where the heck did Hawkeye-looking guy go? Mihawk? Forget that. Where did the Hawkeye-looking guy go? He must have ran off. So it's 4 of them against the S-Bear? Odds are he's reprioritized the order of his targets. He could be focusing on thinning the herd, saving the toughest for last. So Mihawk is reprioritizing the order of his targets, and now he's going to go hunting? Not marine hunting. He's going to pull a early One Piece Zoro. He's going to go pirate hunting? Who's stopping Mihawk? Besides the people that are here on the roof, here in this section, who... that is an S-unit of Mihawk! Odds are he's reprioritized the order of his targets. He could be focusing on thinning the herd, saving the toughest for last. Eliminating your weaker friends would rattle your stronger fighters and handicap them. And Zoro's like, yo, Zoro, you're gonna get lost. I love you. I know you're doing this for the betterment of mankind, but you're probably gonna end up on Lodestar. This man, Zoro, going to try to get Mihawk, might end up finding the real Mihawk before he finds the S-unit of Mihawk. I'm be honest. Yo, Zoro, please take someone with you. Take Hattori. At least take the pigeon. Alright, so you don't get lost, man. Zoro! Quick, go and help him, Usopp. We're still doing the gag, man. We're still doing the gag! We're still doing the gag! The Usopp gag, man. Oh, see, no, that's the type of long-term payoff that I love in One Piece, man. Is the long-term payoff to gags. Alright? So, we're gonna send Kaku with Zoro. Quick, go and help him, Usopp, before he gets lost. Man, what a bother. Slow down, Renoa. But he ain't say no. Kaku took orders from the king. He knows better than to say no. Kaku's like, well, hey, one of the 4 emperors, the king of the sea, if he tells me to do something, it may as well be as official as if Lelouch v. Britannia was telling me to do it. It may as well be as official as if somebody brought out the Gios and commanded you to say it. That's just Luffy's hockey. That man Luffy didn't even call him by his name. He called him Usopp and he said, yes, sir. He saluted. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Slow down, Herda. Wait, who are you calling Usopp? Gomu Gomu no. Base horn? Gomu Gomu no. Hawk Gatling. Ooh, I love that attack, man. So he releases Hawk. Oh, this looks so cool. So we see a Hawk Gatling from behind Luffy here as he's just unloading on the S-Bear. This is going to look incredible in the anime. Hawk Gatling, I'll blast that fire away. Luffy said, if no one else is going to do it, I'm going to do it. If no one else does it, I will. And it feels so good to see Gear 2nd. Because now we've seen Gear 4 and Gear 2nd within the last couple of chapters. So now the next time he uses Gear 5th, oh, it's going to be a beautiful time. It's going to be a beautiful time. So, Zoro, Kaku, let's go. Hawk Gatling, I'll blast the fire away. Use your pathetic brain, Straw Hat. It doesn't matter how many times you try hitting it, that won't work. So Lucci's like, yo, use your pathetic brain, Straw Hat. I mean, brother, Lucci, you do better. Do better. Come on, man. So now they're going to be forced. Now Kaku and Zoro, not of course being up here with Luffy and Lucci, are going to be forced to take matters into their own hands, and so is Luffy and Lucci. So now Luffy and Lucci are going to need to work together, right? In whatever way, shape, and form. It doesn't matter how many times you try hitting that, it won't work. But we see the S-Bear is getting pummeled by that hot Gatling, and we love to see it. So the King firing off on all cylinders there, and Lucci's calling him out. But I don't know why Lucci's calling him out, because he knows who the boss is, bro. Luffy uses one Conqueror's Hockey Blast. He's down on one knee. Lucci's down on one knee talking about, yes, sir. Yes, sir! Go for pile! Full Metal Jacket style. I'm talking about, he's put, say, senor. He might start speaking another language. Luffy uses one Conqueror's Hockey Blast, and Lucci might start speaking Spanish. Hattori might have to speak for him. Hi! You know what I mean? He does that sound. Which translates to, si, senor. Si, senor. Only one day remains before the infamous Egghead incident. Only one day remains before the infamous Egghead incident? What does that even mean? However, the wheels of this tale were set into motion 3 months ago. Bonnie! And she's broken down! Only one day remains before the infamous Egghead incident. However, the wheels of this tale were set into motion 3 months ago. Dude, this might be the most the narrator's giving me goosebumps in a minute. The infamous Egghead incident. So, this place really is going to turn into like a God Valley incident. And it's confirmed. The narrator's telling us it's going to happen. Only one day. So, tomorrow, the infamous... So, it's not even today. Tomorrow, the Egghead incident happens. The wheels of this tale were set into motion 3 months ago. And we see Bonnie in front of Kuma's memories. And she's bawling her eyes out. Dude, I'm like shaking. I'm trembling. What does this even mean? One day remains before the infamous Egghead incident. The Egghead incident. Oh my gosh, bro. I already thought Egghead was going to be one of the best arcs. You're telling me the peak hasn't even happened yet? 1 day before the infamous Egghead incident. I can't get that out of my mind. Oh, dude. Yo, if that doesn't give you goosebumps, I don't know, bro. The wheels of this tale were set into motion 3 months ago, Bonnie. 3 months prior, the holy... Please. Is my floor clean? Is my floor clean, just in case? My floor's gotta be clean, bro. Hold on. Yo, I don't have my broom on me. My vacuum's too far. We good. Just in case. Just in case. Good Lord Almighty. Here we go. Oh my God. The Egghead is 3 months prior the Holy Land Marichoa. This is Egghead coming. I want to speak to somebody with power. With power? This is Egghead coming. I want to speak to somebody with power. Brother, who doesn't have power here? Unless he wants to talk directly to him. I'm sweating. Dr. Vegapunk is researching the Void Sentry. Who said that? We have a snitch. It's the traitor. The traitor snitched so hard he went directly to the top? The snitch is a Karen. Oh my gosh. Snitching on Dr. Vegapunk in cold blood. Oh, man, come on, dude, not my boy. And it has it in the Gear 4 type of panel. Dr. Vegapunk is researching the Void Century. Bzzzt. I mean, that goes straight to the top. That goes straight to the Holy Land. CP5 agents were dispatched to verify this tip, and that's why they are there. CP5 agents were CP5 agents were dispatched to verify this tip, but their inspection revealed nothing. So they attempted to find stuff about the Void Century, and revealed nothing. And their ship mysteriously disappeared as it attempted to leave Egghead. CP7 and CP8 were both deployed to shed light on the situation. However, no government ships returned from Egghead. So it wasn't just CP5? It was CP5, CP7, CP8? They were all getting wiped out left and right, bro. This is turning from a murder mystery to a straight up horror novel. This is Egghead. Again, put me through to the top brass. This is, I gotta acknowledge and appreciate the trader's determination. Put me through to the top brass. The conversation between the 5 elders and this individual totally exposed the full extent of the genius scientist treachery. And so, the elders decided to order Dr. Vegapunk's assassination. It fell to Cyberpola Aegis 0 to execute the mission. And they were all in the room to hear this. All 5 elders. Bzzzt. And he's taking orders from NL. You see the lightning bolt, don't tell me you don't. Don't tell me you don't. Don't tell me you don't see that thing. Oh, it's either NL or it's Static Shock, but I'm in there like swimwear, you heard? I'm in there. The conversation between the 5 elders and this individual totally exposed the full extent of the genius scientist's treachery. And so the elders decided to order Dr. Vegapunk's assassination. And it fell to Cyberpol Aegis 0 to execute the mission. However, the 5 elders anticipated that Vegapunk would resist, so they sent one of their own, escorted by Admiral. They sent St. J. Garcia Saturn to ensure the job was done. They couldn't leave it up to one of the lackeys. They couldn't leave it up to CP0. They couldn't even leave it up to an admiral. They left it up to St. J. Garcia Saturn to take care of the job. Look at this panel of Garcia Saturn. Look at his suit, man. I need to find out who his tailor is. Look at that scar. Bro, you look at that scar, you tell me this man's not a fighter. This dude is a fighter. He's a boxer. Look at the size of that scar. Kizaru. They also reinforced the fleet they deployed with backup from several naval branches. Their caution level was raised to total war imminent. Total war? Is that why they're sending double the ships and they sent a Marine for it? Then, the sudden unexpected appearance of Emperor. The king of Emperor Straw Hat Luffy's ship left the government forces feeling more than a little disquieted by this complication. Akainu, did you say Straw Hat? And it's and you see Gear 5 Luffy just having the time of his life. Yeah. Him again. In any case. Oh no, that's just peak fiction. This is just peak fiction. You have Akainu talking about Mugiwara. In the following panel, you have Gear 5 Luffy. And then in the panel after that, you have big mustachioed Roger cosplayer Gorosei. And he's just like, yo, him again. Like, it was the king. king! In any case, this chain of events is going to culminate tomorrow, and the outcome will shock the world. This is getting me too much, man. Oh, Lord Almighty. It's gonna be God Valley, bro. It's gonna turn into grounds. Dude, they are going to eliminate this place. And the outcome will shock the world. The chain of events is going to culminate tomorrow. And the outcome will shock the world. Only one day remains before the infamous Egghead incident. The wheels of this tale were set in motion 3 months ago. In any case, the outcome will shock the world. Hold up, man. Before I continue the chapter, give me this. I'm rereading chapter 800's final page. Through the very odd practice of Sun's Cups and forces unexpected out of control, 7 odd and mighty warriors labeled themselves the followers of Straw Hat Luffy. After this moment, they will each grow in power until they eventually cause a great incident of historic proportions. But for the moment, that is a story no one knows about yet. So it doesn't say an incident, but it does say it does say incident. A great incident of historic proportions. So, they are going to be the cause for potentially what takes place here? So that means that what Vortex said the other day on stream might actually be a shoot. Where to stop these individuals might actually be the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. Dude, Egghead's about to turn his Marineford. And the outcome will shock the world. And that's not even the end of the chapter. Good talk. Oh, Lord. Wait. Good talk. What? This was all you're doing? Who? Good talk. Answer me! Good talk. Do we see Shaka on the floor? This is all you're doing? Shaka on the floor. Good talk. Answer me. Good talk. Jack. Greek. Why are you doing this? Good talk. Slide. Who is it, bro? It's flipping York? Of all the individuals that we were speculating, out of all people that we thought it was gonna be, it's the baddie? Oh, Stella, it's 'cause I want to be a celestial dragon. So York was out here putting out the commands to top brass? Dude, the Gordo say? Bro, she's whipping this gun like she's Blackbeard. Look how huge she is. No, man. It was the baddie all along. What are you saying, York? You know what Mari Joas is like from that visit a long time ago. From that visit a long time ago. How could you want to be one of them after witnessing how vile they are? You sound just like Shaka. Well, not so much now that he's dead. And she's laughing. It's hard to keep track of all of us Vegapunks, right? Honestly, the world really doesn't need more than one of them. She hit the man with this world ain't big enough for the two. York hit Vegapunk with this world ain't big enough for the two of them. You can't make this up. Is there a break? Oh, there's no break. Oh. Is that the end of the chapter? It is. Color. Oh my god. Bro. York was the imposter. The baddie was the imposter all along. The one individual. The greed. The greedy individual behind all of this. So out of all of Vegapunk's personalities and characteristics, the one who wanted it all, the one whose greed surpassed it all, everything else, was actually the traitor in the midst of all of this. And she's evil. She popped Shaka and said, well, not so much now, he's dead. Like, yo, she's as big of an imposter as the red among us. Among us. And she's just laughing. Oh my god, bro. This chapter. Dude. Bro, this chapter was flipping crazy, man. Bro, we're gonna have this, bro. Oh, they've got to deal with York. They have to deal with York and Egghead, while we've got to deal with CG Garcia Saturn. Bro, I swear on everything, if this incident has the 100 ships pulling up, And the Grand Fleet goes up in like Super to protect the Straw Hats. And in the midst of that, St. J. Garcia Saturn, one of the Gorosei, is boxing Emperor Monkey D. And Dragon shows up. I am leaving the planet. I'm going to leave my window open from here on out. If this man, if I swear on everything, bro. Yo, listen to me. If Egghead Island turns into God Valley 2.0, where we have a scenario where all that's taking place on the exterior, right? They're trying to enter Egghead and they cannot. St. J. Garcia Saturn with Kizaru gets inside, and meeting them on the inside is Bro, if I see Luffy deal with Saturn or with Kizaru and then the rest deal with the other, oh my gosh, bro. I mean, the island is not gonna last. You don't even have to Buster Call it. Luffy and Garcia Saturn in the same area at the same time is going to decimate the island. It might even decimate the planet. We might be going to space, not because we're going to take a rocket ship up there, but because in order for mankind to survive, we're going to need to go up to space. We're going to have no oxygen left. Oh my gosh, bro. The MVP of this chapter was the narrator. The MVP of this chapter was the narrator, man. I am in shock, bro. I'm not only shocked because of the traitor obviously being York, the baddie. York. But then on top of that, a major incident is going to take place tomorrow. Fresno membership for 6 months says, well, our conversation aged well. Bro, it did. It did, man. Peak flipping fiction, bro. Yo, let me wind down, get to some supers, and yo, Oda's cooking. He is cooking. What is gonna happen tomorrow? What does he have in store that's gonna take place here that is going to be another major incident of historic proportions? What is he going to do? What is he going to do? Yo, Akash Panda coming in with a 5 and says York forced the Gorosei to come to Egghead. I gotta read that statement one more time. York. New York. You know what I mean, bro? Bro, we're not talking about York New. We're not talking about Manhattan. We're not talking about New York City. We're not even talking about the place in which York comes from, the original place from all the way back in the day. No. We're not talking about any type of York besides the fake punk York. York forced a Gorosei to come to Egghead. Her determination was crazy. So she could transfer her mind into his body, just like how Stella transferred his mind to the satellites. If York transfers her mind, Ino Yamanaka style, into St. Bro, you know what St. J. Garcia Saturn do? She attempts to do that, and Garcia Saturn just walks. He's like, yo, you're a million years too early to try something like that. You feel me? Just, Dude, Garcia Saturn looked crazy in this week's chapter. In that one little panel where they showed him, he looked so cool. It's so cool. But that's just wild, Akash Panda. If you're right about that, and York is doing a master plan to transfer her mind, or to, even though she wants to be a Celestial Dragon, right? So maybe she would transfer her mind to declare the order. Or maybe she literally wants to become a Celestial Dragon by becoming one of them, right? Like, infiltrating their mind. That'd be wild. Thank you, Akash Panda, for the 5. Crazy stuff, man. Bar M comes in with a 2. Shout out to Bar M. Says, York the Greedy. Didn't see that one coming. Who did? We were all talking about S Flamingo. But you know something? I'm so glad that it was someone that we've already seen. Because this just goes to show that the pieces were put into place, right? It was an individual that was of the original people who were here on the island, not an external force. Which means Oda wanted this to be an Among Us murder mystery story where all of us put the pieces together in order to find out who it is that this person is. And the fact that it's York, man, it's like it makes sense with the moniker, especially greedy, like greed. You know, Chihaya Fudu really changed my mind as to what greed is, right? A greedy person could be someone who wants it all in regards to wants to be the greatest, but also wants to keep their friends as well, right? Like a greedy individual who wants to do it all, right? And it changed my mind into what greed actually is. So now we're going to see another perspective on greed and what greed actually means, especially exploring it thematically through someone like a York, and especially being a characteristic of Vegapunk. I just wonder what happens now with York in regards to, I know Robin, Chopper, and Atlas are heading down there too. So if they are heading down there, are they going to be the ones to take on York? Are we going to have a scenario where Robin takes on York? That's going to be her major battle of the arc? That would be really cool. I would like that. But it's like, what happens now with York? York is technically the main central antagonist force here on Egghead. The major antagonistic force. Then we have an external force coming in of the 100 battleships with Kizaru and St. J. Garcia Saturn. So it's like, we have to take care of one before the other. If not, if we don't take care of York now, and Garcia Saturn pulls up with 100 battleships, the Straws are losing. The Straws are losing. I don't care how strong we've gotten after Kaido, we won't be able to handle that if we're not all together. If we are all still split up like this, we're losing. We are 100% Sabaody 2.0ing this. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. The Grand Fleet has to show up. Either the Grand Fleet has to show up, Crosskill has to show up, or someone has to show up in order to stop the 100 battleships. If not, we're losing. We can't do this. We're not going to be able to. I don't care who it is. Man. Bar M, thank you for the 2, dog. Praetorus comes in with a 10 GBP and says, I can't get over how thematic it is. That Stella's own desire in opposition to his logic, the fruits, the explanation from 1069. Oh, Praetorus is spitting. Dude, that is a factual statement. Can't get over how thematic it is that Stella's own desire in opposition to his logic is the antagonist after the explanation of devil fruits as desires expressed in reality against nature's will, dude. That's a factual statement. Yo, Praetorus, that is a genius comment. Genius comment. You're absolutely right. We look back at chapter 1069 now with a different recontextualization of just like, absolutely. Of course, he was talking about the origin of fruits. But now this can be applied to his own reality as well, which could add into his own hypothesis down the line in regards to, I was not able to control one of my own creations. How could nature control one of their own creations? How could Mother Sea or Mother Earth control one of her own creations when it was naturally going to be able to, its own desire, right? Like, especially now after chapter 1044 with fruits themselves could have their own desires as well. Whatever that means is whatever it means. But the fact remains is that these things represent the desires of the people. And that is going to go against the will of nature, right? Against what has been predetermined. And so I'm so interested now because this looks like a small scale type of thing as to what's going to be a large scale thing down the line in regards to your dream versus your destiny, your fate versus destiny, stuff of that nature, right? Where we know stuff like that's going to be brought up within the Void Century, and we know on a large scale it's going to be brought up in the Final War, because that's mainly that's one of the big things within One Piece, right? So you not forget one of Whoop Slap said, is it his dreams or his destiny? Which one is it? And it's always been such a central focal point of the series, but to see it on a small scale like this, and in Egghead Island with Vegapunk, who is focusing so hard on trying to figure out the past, right, in order so he can betterment the future. For desire to be in opposition to his logic, the Stella's own desire. Yo, that's a great comment, Praetorus, man. Seriously, yo. Thank you for that. Thank you for the 10. Thank you for the brilliant comment. Jack Me Off comes in with a 10 and says, I think the Straws are going to take a massive L, dude. Let me tell you something. If the Grand Fleet doesn't show up, and I do believe they're going to show up, I do believe because at this point, the narrator came back to explicitly let us know this is going to be a massive incident of legendary proportions here. The infamous Egghead incident, it is going to be humongous. This is going to go down in history. All right? So, I think the Straws are going to take a massive L. If there's any moment for the Straws to take a massive L, it's when we're fractured. It's when we are fractured. No one is together. We are all separated. If St. J. Garcia Saturn pulls up a Kizaru in 100 battleships right now, how in the world are we supposed to combat against that? How? We need tension for the final saga, and with Luffy just beating Kaido, we're all on Cloud 9. With all the Sabaody parallels already, and L is imminent. Yo, Jack, you might be right. This chapter just changed my entire perspective on the way Egghead's going to go from here on out. It really did. The narrator coming into this chapter, I believed we were going to escape this, either going to the moon, like within my own heart, right? I saw two scenarios. Either we have another extra adventure going to the moon before we go to Elbaf, or we go to Elbaf next. Those were my only two options of the Straw Hats leaving and going to another place. I didn't know how we were going to do that, right? Because there's still a lot of things we have to take care of here, but going into the next island for me was certain. Now I'm not sure. Now I don't know if we take the L and we have to escape in order to survive. I don't know if... I just don't know, man. This chapter changed everything for me. On both sides. On both Egghead and around the world. Because now that we know the truth behind what took place 3 months ago, and how the Holy Land was preparing for this, why they sent out the order for Vegapunk in the first place, it's like, man... And the fact that it's called a grand historic legendary incident, it just lets me know that yes, something huge, and it's the end result is going to shock the world. What does that mean? Because shocking the world that's God Valley levels. That is Monkey D. Garp teaming up. But then if it shocks the world, that means that the truth's going to have to get out. That's right, because Morgans is somebody here working for him. So if Morgans finds out the truth, bro, that could be it. Morgans finds out the truth. The reason why Oda showed Big News Morgans with BB is because Morgans is going to hear about what is taking place on God Valley and is going to publish the truth for entertainment. This is going to be the one time he publishes the 100% facts. So that's how the entire world is going to figure out about all this. Because I was wondering, how is the entire world... They don't even know about the God Valley incident. They don't know about O'Hara. But they're going to know about this one? So if this shocks the world, if everybody knows about what happens here, that means Big News Morgan is going to tell every single person on the planet about what took place on Egghead Island. Yo, Jack, thank you for the comment, man. Thank you for the comment. Wow. What a chapter. Jesus Vermilion comes in, membership 4 months, and says, glad to caught the stream again after a long time. Dude, Jesus, man, glad to have you here, dog. It has been a while. I'm so glad that you're here, yo. So glad you're here. Then we have Sarbo Wabmer, who comes in with 110 and says, narrator being really focused on severity of incidents, and it scares me. It does. This, bro, it is severe. What is going to take place here is of historic proportions. By the way, this is off topic. Check out Uzumaki-Kan's chapter 1044 reaction. His take was nice. I watched it. I watched this reaction. I'm currently up to, on Patreon, I'm up to his 1064, I want to say. somewhere on there. So I put it on ice 1044. That stretch, that reaction stretch was legendary. It was legendary. Shout out to my boy Con, man. But the how severe this incident is starting to scare me as well, because the way the narrator's speaking is that whatever takes place here is going to be, like we talked about at the beginning of this arc, it is going to be the major catalyst that's now I changed my mind. I changed my mind as to what I originally thought this arc was going to be when we started it. I thought Egghead Island, when we started this, was going to be the Sabaody, yes, that it's gonna start everything going into the final saga where it was gonna be nonstop banger, craziness, momentum, all that stuff. But I thought the around the world stuff, I thought the reason why Oda was preparing us with the around the world stuff was because we were gonna have Hancock over here with Blackbeard, and Blackbeard versus Law, and Shanks and versus Kid, and all this stuff, because what happened there was going to be the consequential stuff that's going to take place, that's going to take us into the rest of the series. Because I believed Elbaf was going to be our final adventure before a crazy final war, all that stuff, right? Final saga piece. So my belief was Egghead, the last detour, and then Elbaf, the final adventure, right? In terms of before we head to Laugh Tale, stuff like that. Now I'm not so sure. Because it feels like this is going to change the course of history forever. Whatever happens here is potentially going to take us away from our intended route and take us somewhere else. Now I have no idea. I still expect us to go to Egghead. I just don't know, because if we do lose or we win, if St. J. Garcia Saturn gets exposed here, Luffy, the Revolutionary Army of Dragon shows up, whatever happens here, it's going to be directly consequential to the final saga of the series. Whatever happens here, whether Egghead Island gets turned into Ground Zero or not, whether everything gets destroyed or not, anything that takes place on Egghead, not around the world, Egghead's going to be the central focal point of the consequential stuff taking place, or taking us into the final saga. It's no longer the around the world stuff being the most intriguing part anymore. It's no longer the around the world stuff being what's going to take us into the final saga. It is now Egghead that is going to be the major incident, the major catalyst that is going to take us into the final saga. And to me, that is just, I'm just, how, man? What is going to happen? And then Hollow Sama comes in with a 2. He says Sanji is now officially the toughest on the crew. Shout out to Sanji in this chapter, man. Sanji definitely did his thing in this chapter. Sanji did his thing in this chapter, man. That shocked me when I saw him like this. Bah! That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Thank you, Hollow Summer, for the 2. Sanji greatness, man. Dude, I forgot that Sanji stuff happened in this chapter. That's how crazy that stuff was at the end. V Prism comes in with a 5 and says, Dragon pulling up to wipe out 100 ships like the storm that saved Roger Bashiki during that war. If Dragon wipes out 100 battleships, you want to talk about feats? You want to talk about feats? If Dragon does that. I don't even know what I'm going to do. If Dragon pulls up. Because I do believe he's pulling up at this point. Bro, if we actually... I know I was hyping it up when St. J. Garcia Saturn first showed up in 1073. But if we do actually end up getting that Dragon and St. J. Garcia Saturn scene, man, oh man, I would love that so much, be Prism, bro. I would, man. I would. Thank you for the 5e Prism, man. This is crazy. This is crazy, man. Yo, Pluto, thank you so much for stopping by, dude, and happy birthday, dog. Happy birthday, Pluto, man. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, wonderful experience. And do your thing, my brother. My mind has been turned into mush. My mind has been turned into mush, and United hasn't even played yet. Oh my god. Oh man. Oh, today's gonna be a crazy day. Hold up. Bro, is this really going to be the major incident that he was talking about, bro? Yo, Ashen Samurai Jiro, what's good, my boy? Yo, Jesus Vermillion. Jesus Vermillion comes in with a 10 and says, I recently rejuvenated my love for the Fate series. Shout out to the Fate series. I watched in the Heaven's Field trilogy. I'm getting back into the FGO story. But my first ever figurine limited edition Sugihime game box. Nice. Dude, first and foremost, I have not watched the Heaven's Field trilogy because I want to experience that in the visual novel first. But let me know. Let me know how you enjoyed that greatness. Because I loved the Fate Zero and Fate Stay 9 Limited Blade Works stories in the anime. So let me know how you felt about that. But the FGO story, man. Shout out to Fago, man. Crazy. But my first ever figurine in limited edition Tsukihime game box. Tsukihime is one done by the same person, right? Nasu, I believe his name is. But thank you, Jesus, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. JoJo Lands Chapter 2 came out as JoJo Lands. Oh my god. What am I going to do? I don't have enough hours in the day, man. You know something? I feel like JoJo Lands, we might be able to do that tomorrow. Yeah. But I might be able to do it. I think it depends on what time I get back home. Might be able to do it today. Oh man, now the JoJo Lands out is out. That's gonna be it's gonna be fire. It's gonna be fire, man. That's gonna be fire. Dude, I'm sweating, man. I'm sweating. Yeah, I'm definitely considering it, bro. Definitely considering it. Next week is break. No break, Roman. No break. JoJo Lands is gas, bro. I cannot wait to read Chapter 2, man. Gintama is still the best anime ever. Shout out to Gotama. Garcia and Kizaru could just tag team that entire alliance. Could you imagine? Could you imagine that? Yo, Praetorius, welcome to Kingdom of Awesome Sauce, my dog. Thank you so much for joining the Kingdom of Awesome Sauce, man. I have a theory that Robin will play Goddess of Victory in Elbaf because Nico surely comes from Nicholas. She is Russian, and Nicholas is turned Nico, which means victory. Oh, that's the first time I've ever heard that Johan Caravan. That'll be interesting. Vacuum Sama should always be present pre-live stream. Yo, real talk. Yo, hold on. I saw something earlier from my dog, from Subra that was interesting. Shout out to my boy Subra. Where is it at? Where is it? Subra. Right here. Desire represents fruits. Will represents hockey. Logic represents science. So the death of science in the story of One Piece is what Egghead finale means. Desire represents fruits. Will represents hockey. And logic represents science. So the death of science in the story of One Piece is what the Egghead finale means. Yo, if it's them attempting to stop the progression of science, I can most certainly see that being the case. However, I do believe that if Vegapunk survives coming out of this arc, his mission is going to be getting back to that zero again. Right? Or at least starting a new zero. Shout out to Johnny Joestar. Where he's gonna be put on a mission to everything that's up here, attempt to get it back out there once more. And so in that case, you might be right. In regards to the death of the science as we know it within the One Piece world. It may be the birth of a new type of science heading out of here, utilizing the adventure that Vegapunk will be going on after this, and also what's in his mind. I could definitely see that being the case. Because that goes into all three. As Vegapunk's desire and his will. That's a great comment, Subra. Okay, Tama Festival in a couple days? Are they going to announce anything? I miss Sriracha, man. I need Sriracha to come back and write another manga. So Rairo says, I disagree about logic representing science. Shaka's theme kanji is for logic / good, which can also mean righteous / morals. So you believe that logic is instead of representing science, Rairo, it actually represents the like righteous and morality. That could very well be the case as well, because they're about to do something very immoral here at the end of this arc. If they turn into Ground Zero, you feel me? So. Yo, Instant Messenger Sama coming in with a 10. So not only does Instant Messenger Sama vary, I mean, his presence, you could feel in this chapter, but now he shows up in the live stream once again. Shout out to Instant Messenger Sama. It says, the Straw Hats better protect Bogey from that geezer Saturn. He might be up to something. If St. J. Garcia Saturn actually pulls up here, while in the midst of all of us doing this, we're going to have to see Gear 5 Luffy versus St. J. Garcia Saturn. Bro, let me tell you about something, man. I know that it's a popular sentiment in this community for the Gorosei to potentially not be on that level. You go back and look at the Gorosei. I don't know in terms of like where they are on the list. I don't know. I don't know if the Gorosei are nastier than people over here or nastier than people over here. I don't know. The only thing I know is that the scar on St. J. Garcia Saturn's face tells me that the man is a fighter. I don't know how formidable he is, but by the flag runners, when he pulls up next to Kizaru, the fact that he came here to do the mission himself, I think he's got hands, like Lazy Muffo says. I think he got hands. So, if that's the case, if Garcia Saturn can throw down, and next to Kizaru, listen, Kizaru pulling up is already going to be huge. Because you know Kizaru means all business. Kizaru don't care if an emperor is here. He's going to go up in like someone regardless. So, we're going to see some Kizaru Luffy or Kizaru Zoro and Sanji, whatever it is. And if Garcia Saturn's on the same level as Kizaru, it's going to be wild. Because then that is two individuals on the level of destroying all of us. that are going to be here and ready to go up in like swim. We're all going to need to be at 100% and ready to throw down. And that's going to be the big problem because Luffy and Lucci are wasting so much energy on the S-Bear, and Luffy wasted energy fighting Lucci. Zoro's about to fight Mihawk with Kaku, or Usopp. And then the rest of the Straw Hats are all taking on their own thing, so it's like by the time they all get here, we're going to be tired. We are going to be tired. So, but you're right, man. They better protect Bonnie. Protect her at all costs. We need to see what she saw in this chapter. We need to see what she saw in this chapter. Because it broke her. It broke her, man. Who's your Joe Star? Mine is Johnny. Mine is also Johnny. Shout out to my boy Johnny Joe Kid. That is not out of the question at all, Radloon. At all. Thank you, Mr. Messenger Solomon. Before I read another super right here, there is Radloon says Emu destroying Egghead after everyone is gone is out of the question. I wouldn't put it out of the I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility, Radloon, that Emu attempts to destroy Egghead while they're here. Because imagine how Lucci, Sentomaru, Kizaru, maybe even St. J. Garcia Saturn. Imagine a scenario where all these individuals are present when something like the Lucy is about to take place. So Instant Messenger Sama calls down Uranus, or whatever the flying flatters that thing was, to attempt to Lelucia Egghead Island, and St. J. Garcia Saturn, Kizaru, and all of them are present to witness it. Almost as if Instant Messenger Sama is saying, I don't need y'all. Y'all are sacrifices on the board for me to get rid of all of you. Then, it won't just be Lucci who's going to be questioning his superiors. It's going to be all of them. Because then Garcia Saturn is going to be like, yo, am I disposable? Kizaru's going to be like, what are we doing? Sentomaru's already wavering. Lucci's definitely wavering. So it's like when we have a scenario where potentially Instant Messenger Sama goes in and attempts to Lelucia Egghead Island while they're all there. For me, that would be more interesting than if Instant Messenger Sama were to do that after. Because if he does it after, it's going to turn to Ground Zero regardless, right? But in the middle of the arc, where they are fighting and we see the thing coming down, actually, that could happen. That could actually happen. Where we are in the middle of what's taking place here, right? We see the boxing, we see the stuff taking place, it's about to go down. And they look up at the sky, and they see this massive thing above them. That might be our first exposure to Uranus, or whatever that thing is. And it comes down, strikes, and then we don't see anything from the Straw Hat crew for a little while. I could see that being the case. Oda is going to be very ambitious in this final saga. I would not throw that possibility out of here. In the slightest. In the slightest. So here we have Sarah Wagmare comes in on 110. Shout out to my good boy here. There's no way York becomes Celestial. She will get double crossed by Saturn 100%. 100%. You know how it works. Anytime someone betrays another person, they are just going to get betrayed. This arc showed us that. CP9 betrayed the shipwrights, and now naturally they have also been betrayed. So now we have a scenario where York betrayed the rest of the Vegapunks. Now we're going to see a point where York gets betrayed by the people whom she wants to become. That's just, it's going to be the nature of the beast. Because they want every Vegapunk gone, period. Exactly, right? That's also a great point. They want every Vegapunk gone. So once they get rid of the other Vegapunks, they're going to get rid of her. Like, yo, you're done. You know too much. You share the same information as the other Vegapunks. Kill her. Bah. That's it. That's it. Hispanic girls twerking says Luffy G5 versus the old man. Well, I don't know. Okay, I mean, you know, Gear 5 Luffy might be too much for anyone. You know, anyone that's not like, you know, Shanks or Kaido or one of the big boys. Gear 5 Luffy's going ham on anyone. So, you know, you're right. Yeah, Gear 5 Luffy. I don't care who it is. They're Cochinelles. They're Cochinelles. You got me there. That's a good point, Vortex. Vortex is we probably will see it once Kuma's death finally happens. So when Kuma's death happens, we switch over and we see what Bonnie saw. Oh man, that would hit. That would really, really hit, man. Carpe Dio says the world government gotta be hiding some serious power. Why are the ancient weapons needed? Why did the likes of Roger and Whitebird never try to fight them? That's a good point. You know that when you have things like that at your disposal, especially Uranus, which I compare it to the 3 Egyptian gods, right? And from Yu-Gi-Oh, where it definitely does feel like Slifer's almost always been with us. Obelisk will be Pluton, always been a thing. But the Winged Dragon of Ra is going to be Uranus, man. Instant Message Sama's going to be wielding the Winged Dragon of Ra until the end of the series. I can see that being the case. You feel me? So, if Uranus is really about it, then who would try to... Bro, that thing is capable of destroying an island in an instant. Who would want to go against that thing? It's also Austin 316 Day Oda knows. That's true, Lazy Mofos. That's true. That's true. Hey, Coach, I've seen your tweet on Azure. It feels so good to be home again after finishing Kuro. Dude. Kuro no Kiseki peak. And Azure peak. And the fact that we're getting Hajimari this year too, man. We love to see it. Oh, man. Could you imagine that Soul Cal? Kizaru being betrayed and full of anger, and he's just a menace to the rest of the series. Dude, we don't want to see Menace Kizaru. Menace Kizaru would be too much. He'd be too much, man. He'd be way too much. Me too, Jack. I also love how Oda's using Lucci right now. I think it's some great stuff. Great stuff. Oh, so Subra, you're on the same wavelength. Subra says, Robin versus York is coming as she is going there, which will start the fight back again. Desire versus Logic. That's a great point. Thematically, it makes sense. Oh, Robin having 2 top tier fights back to back, injected. Robin versus Black Maria. Robin versus York. Let's go, baby. Leading back to the establishment of Logic, Vegapunk kept O'Hara's will alive. Robin will be demon form again. Injected. Subra, if you are Oda's editor right here, I respect it. We love to see it. We love to see it. I'm down. I am so down. Thematically, it makes sense. Across the board, it makes sense. I am so down for that being a possibility. So down. A Kude burst. That's a good point, Nasty Ninja. We could really just Kude burst out of here. Presno says, imagine Mihawk showing up to collect Kizaru's bounty. If Cross Guild shows up, attempting to collect Kizaru's bounty, this arc is going to be is Marineford. There's too many big time players here. That would be the biggest showcase to me. This is the final saga. If Mihawk, Buggy, and Crocodile show up to take on and or collect Kizaru's bounty. You feel me, Volto? Like, Mihawk showing up to catch Kizaru for his bounty would be peak fiction. It would be insane. It would be insane, man. Excuse me. People's names on YouTube be cracking me up. Nothing like hearing Hispanic girls twerking randomly. Dude, there's nothing like YouTube names, man. There's nothing like it. It's a good point, Balto. They have been quiet. They most certainly have been quiet since they were shown. Egghead Island arc has been so gas, man. I love how this as much has happened already. We're not even at the end of the... and after this chapter is too much, I thought it's going to be CRAZIER. Dude, if we end up going to L-back after this, and Oda has something cooking even harder for that arc than this arc, it's like, man. Have a good one, Jesus, man. Thank you for stopping by, brother. Yeah, Radluna. We have no idea who won between Blackbeard and Law. I mean, I'm going to assume Blackbeard, right? But still. The chapter said the incident on that day, so if the Egghead incident coincides with Garp dying, that's a good point. Oh, Majins, you just opened up like the massive, like, fourth dimensional brain. Because major incident could imply that what took place on that day, right? Because this is going to be something where the news is going to be reporting multiple different things at once. So the Egghead Island incident could be coinciding, because the Reverie incident was also coinciding with different stuff that was taking place at the same time. The abolishment of Shibukai, this and that, and BB, and all this stuff, right? All that was happening at once. So here we're going to have Egghead Island, and whatever takes place there over there with Law and Garp and Blackbeard, because you're right. If the newspaper does say something like Kobe escapes, Garp dies, whatever happens on Egghead Island, it's like all of that would culminate in becoming one major news story. In like the craziest day in the history of mankind. I could see that being the case, Majins, man. So what if the Egghead incident coincides with Garp and whatever happened to Law and Shanks such kid at once would shock the world? That's true. All three of those events, or everything taking place around the world, and the stuff at Egghead Island, becomes the collective Egghead incident. That is a great theory. That is something that I could actually see taking place, and a good explanation as to why Oda had Blackbeard versus Law, Shanks versus Kid, Garp pulling up, all of that take place in the middle of the arc rather than in the post-arc. That's a great explanation for that. Great explanation for that. Shironura says, oh, before I read that, yo, Kebab316, happy birthday, yo. Happy flipping birthday, man. Hope you have a good one. And then it's nothing but the best in your end. So you and Pluto got birthdays on peak chapter day, man. I need it to be y'all's birthday every week. Just like it was whenever Shanks showed up, and we had a couple birthdays that day, too. Shironura says, if not the Grand Fleet showing up, maybe, if he is there in the Marine Fleet, Smoker and G5 might switch sides and help protect Vegapunk because he can cure the children from Vegapunk, or from Punk Hazard. That's interesting. So Smoker and G5 switching sides, or at the very least propelling their own sense of justice. Not necessarily just like switching sides, but being like, no, we're going to do what we believe is right. And not just aligning with the admirals or aligning with this person or that person. We're going to do what we believe is right. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Afterglow says Tomikizaru has always been the scariest admiral. I think the day we see him pissed is the day someone dies in One Piece without it being a flashback. Afterglow, that is a factual statement. That is one guy we don't want to see mad. It's Kizaru. He's already a savage. First admiral defeated. That it could also say that as well, Vortex. Law captured. Kid dead. Yo, Syndratic is going to say, Eustace Kid killed by the monkey. You know what I mean? That's what I was going to say, man. It's like, yo, the monkey takes Kid's arm and holds it high and into the air. Bro, the picture in the newspaper is going to be the monkey with the metal arm. It's going to be like, whoo-hoo. And then we're going to have Big News Smoker. He's like, yeah, yo, this is big news. He's going to be like, whoa, just holding Kid's arm up. Like, let's go, man. Yo, Leo Dog, same, man. Same. That's a good point, Aaron K. How many chapters until tomorrow in the One Piece world? Like, how many more chapters until we actually see that incident? Yo, seriously, Lazy Waffles has a great point. Like, meanwhile, Akaino's on the bench, like, Coach, put me in. Bro, Akaino's so antsy. He's just like, yo, somebody put me in the game. He just wants to fight. He wants to kill something. Yeah, Dre, I feel the same way, man. Like, yo, One Piece is crazy, bro. One Piece is crazy. Yo, Arend comes in membership for 7 months. Shout out to Arend, who says, I just read the chapter, but what a genius ending. I am in for all conversations about Desire, 1069 title, and Vegapunk's speech when he sees Luffy. Dude, that's exactly what we were talking about earlier. And a massive shout out to Subra and for Praetoris for bringing it up, because thematically it just makes so much sense, you know, about the whole desire and logic. And the 1069 conversation leading more towards into a small scale discussion about that topic through the events of this arc. I think that is such a cool thing, right? And something that could lead us into some of the best stuff in the series in terms of exploring it thematically. What really is one's desire versus one's logic? Exploring that through multiple different characters within this arc, to me, it would be really cool, as well as like what Ryro said earlier about exploring just how far humans are willing to go for their desires, right? Going above the logic that potentially be present there by doing everything necessary to preserve a certain point in history, by eliminating everybody that's here, turning that all this progress that we've made as humans into ground zero and putting a complete stop to it. Whoa! Orange Dub! Shout out to Orange! Orange comes in and gifts 5, count 'em, 5 memberships to the channel, yo. I appreciate you, Orange, man. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Now we'll have more people for the afterthoughts this week, because we're going to need as many as possible for the afterthoughts this week. But Oren, thank you so much for the 5 gift memberships, man. I appreciate you so much. So much. Man, what a chapter, dude. What a chapter. Oren is a legend for that. Yeah, Contendo, same. Like, the narration sent chills down our spines, man. This is wild. Are you going to react to Chapter 2 JoJo Lines? I do, Dima. I want to react to it, man. It's just, it won't be able to happen today, at least I don't think. It would have to depend on when I get back. But more than likely, if I do end up reacting to it, which I do want to. I really do. I do, because I enjoyed Chapter 1 so much that I feel like I want to record my journey with JoJo Lens. I think it's about the time that we transition to doing consistent JoJo content where I read it for the first time. Because before that, it was anime stuff that I was just seeing how it was adapted. But I want to, especially after that first stream and how much fun I had, I want to do JoJo stuff. So, if y'all can be patient with me for another day, I might be able to do that tomorrow. So, just keep an eye out on the channel for tomorrow. And we might be able to get some JoJo Lens in. For sure. Because I do want to. Poor Syndratic. Syndratic, though you aren't, but my hockey will forever be too powerful to not dodge. Syndratic, the day that I see you with the Santa hat, I'm gonna know that like the time has arrived. That you know what, Syndratic? You getting the membership, like the gifted membership, might be the same day as the Egghead incident. That might be the catalyst for the Egghead incident. You feel me? That might be the catalyst. That might be the actual catalyst, man. Oh, no worries about that, Super. No worries about that, yo. We are really Grand Fleet now here, both within the story and out of the story. Akash Panda says, do you think Saturn might die? I mean, if Saturn dies, that would be a historic of beyond crazy proportions. I wonder how they would actually react to that. Right? Like, how in the world would they actually... My God, what is that? A rent! A rent! Relax! Brother Nero! What is going on? Good Lord! Already comes in with a CRC. 10,000. What is CRC actually? Hold on, let me see. CRC. Because somebody told me what CRC is. Actually, very interesting. Croatian? Oh, it's Croatian. That's super cool. I think that's the first time I've ever seen a CRC. Croatian 20 beans. No, that's super cool. So Arian comes in with CRC. Dude, that's such a cool name for money, man. CRC 10K. After the chapter, I wanted to explore more about desire. I recommend you all look for this blog that does a great job at explaining the roles of desire, the center of humanity's desire. I love reading. So let me copy that statement right there, our end. And honestly, might be able to come back with that for the afterthoughts. The center of humanity's desire, Daniel Meisler, October 6, 2017. Yo, I will definitely read this our end. Keeping this in a tab right there. Yo. Now this looks like a really good article too. Yo, when you start off an article with I've been thinking about the role of desire in the human identity. Come on. He's about to cook. Let him cook. Let him cook. So, thank you, our end, man. Thank you for the 10,000 CRC and for the gifted, man. I appreciate you. I really appreciate you. Oh, Costa Rican. Oh, that's super cool. Yo, Costa Rica, man, my people. I mean, I'm Puerto Rican, but Costa Rica's close enough. You know what I mean? We're close. We're almost neighbors. We're almost neighbors. My man Lazy Mofo said it's berries. It's berries. Man, this chapter was great. That's a good point, Carpe Diem, man. It's our last bizarre adventure. I'm gonna have to react to part 9. JoJo means it means too much to me, right? JoJo means too much to me as a series. I'm gonna have to continue the journey on here. Like I said, my YouTube channel really goes down to desire and the wants of the people. So if y'all want it, I know I want to do it. We're gonna make it happen. I just, like I said, for chapter 2, if it's either going to be later today or tomorrow, just keep an eye out on the channel because it could be one of the two. It just depends on whether or not I'm able to get another hour or two later on the day for myself. If not, we're definitely going to do it tomorrow afternoon. Red One BK, same thing, right? Like about doing the JoJo Lens reaction later today. It's either going to be later today or tomorrow at this point. We're lighting up a cigar and sitting in armchairs for the afterthoughts. Dude, I think the moment that I finish this stream, I'm putting up the post for the afterthoughts. Speak! New York. Speak comes in with a 10 euros. Oda definitely wrote this chapter with Empire State of... Dude, I said the same thing, Speak. I said the same thing earlier, bro. I'm telling you. Oda definitely wrote this chapter with Empire State of Mind in the background. All for the York is now New York pun he's been working on. A child at heart. He is a child at heart, bro. He really is. This entire time, he was just cooking a massive pun in the background. It's stuff like that. That's why I love Oda. Because at the end of the day, he really is Luffy. He is a child at heart, man. And I love that a lot. I really, really do love that a lot. But you know for a fact he had Empire State of Mind in the background. There's no way he did. There's no way he did. But thank you, Speak. Man, I appreciate you so much, bro. By the way, Recon, what do you think of Neo Mads coming to Egghead to get the revenge? Super, that's a good point because of what's currently happening in the cover story. So what do you think the end of the result of the Battle Royale is? How many chapters do you think Egghead has left? So, end result of the Battle Royale, Blackbeard winning on one side, Shanks winning on the other, because of course we're building them up into the end of the series, and then Kid and Law taking L's, quote-unquote, right here, allows them to progress. Because let me tell you something. if Kid and Law lose, which is where we believe we're going, it wouldn't be too far-fetched to say all three of the members of the Worst Generation lose, right? Here coming out of this arc. Kid losing, Law losing, Luffy losing. And then it leads us into the rest of the final saga being their, return to prominence, right? Like they're them getting back, not necessarily into like not getting back to the limelight, but to create their own brand new era after taking that loss. That very well could be where we're heading with this, heading into the final saga. So it's just, we just have to see. Like I said, in regards to what's happening here on Egghead, I don't know what Oda has planned for the Straw Hats potentially losing. So, Straw Hats, excuse me, in terms of right now, just the Battle Royale taking place right now, not the one's going to take place after, where of course stuff is going to continue down the line, but I'm talking about right now. Right now. It's just, God, it feels like Blackbeard win, Shanks win, and then who knows on Egghead. Who knows? But the Neomat thing is interesting. Now, in terms of how many chapters do I think Egghead has left, let me actually give that to the chat. For anybody who would like to comment about that. How many chapters do y'all think Egghead has left? Because at this point, after this week's chapter, I have no idea. I want to see another 7 to 10 chapters. Who knows when tomorrow is? After that narration, I don't know. I'm going to be honest, I don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't know how many chapters we have left. Tomorrow could be another 50 chapters. I don't know. Bounty increase once again. Sobri, I think that's where we're heading. Is another massive bounty increase for the boy. Yeah, DeWolfman, that's a good point. Still waiting for Law to use a surgery of immortality on someone. Seriously. Like, that was brought up in Dressrosa for a reason. Who is he going to use it on down the line? Himself? Someone else? I mean, it's something that he's going to be doing, so he's going to have to use it on someone else. Could he use it on Kobe? Who would he use it on that's not himself? I know for so long people thought he was going to use it on Luffy. Yo, Namer, what's going on, my brother? How you doing? We're seeing 3 of the 4 Emperors in action soon. We have to see Cross Guild fighting an admiral. Something's agreed, Yatin. Agreed. Someone said earlier Mihawk should pull off, right? Yo, I don't care, man. As long as we get to see Mihawk, Crocodile, and Buggy in action, we've got to see Cross Guild going in soon. We have to see them going in soon. We're going to have a whole war vortex. We're going to have a whole war vortex. An entire war, bro. It's going to be wild, man. Shanks the same ability as Gildarts. Gildarts and Shanks are factually the same person. Exactly, Syndratic. Like, they have to survive the entire night. How is that going to happen? Super, Recon, how do you think Katakuri will return to the Storm? So curious with that pudding storyline. Also, I think 10 more chapters of match, but it's going unexpected. Dude, and like Matt Saturn says, definitely 10 to 15 for Egghead. I could see that. Everybody else was saying I saw 20, 30, 4, 12, 5 or 6, 10. It really does depend. So, in terms of Katakuri return to the story, like I've said multiple times, Subra, I do believe Katakuri might try his own rescue mission to attempt to get pudding. I do because we know how much he cares for his sisters. Katakuri pulling up, attempting to get back at the Blackbeard Pirates for coming into his territory and taking one of his sisters. How boss would it be of Katakuri to pull up? It wouldn't be logical, but I think after what the Straw Hats did to Whole Cake Island, Katakuri is not going to be thinking with logic. He's going to go, I don't care. Who cares? I'm pulling up, right? So wherever Big Mom and them are going, for the rest of the Big Mom Pirates, I have no idea. Elbaf, whatever. But Katakuri himself, whether he pulls up with Oven, whether he pulls up Solo Dolo, I do believe he is going to pull up to Hachinosu in an attempt to get Pudding back. Though that's just what I think Katakuri would do based on his personality. Whether he does it or not, I don't know. But that's what I would love to see from Katakuri, because that would show that he was impacted by the events of Whole Cake Island to the point to where he would attempt something like that, something we know for a fact he would not attempt before. It's like, yo, I'm gonna get Pudding back. I'm gonna get my sister back. You feel me? So that's just the way I see it, and it would be awesome. It would be awesome. I was behind the stream. I had to go live because you said about United playing your Man United fan. Oh, absolutely, bro. You know what it is, man, dog. Let me tell you something, dude. You have no idea how much I was raging. I was raging on Sunday when Casemiro got that red card, man. I was, bro, my veins were popping. I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I was like, what? And it's for 4 games. I thank God he's playing today. But it's like, bro, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? So hopefully the second leg goes good. We just put Real Betis away and we keep moving forward. I just don't know what we're going to do in the Premier League. You know what I mean? Well, I have no idea. I have no idea because now we're going to be playing without our best midfielder. And then if we have another disaster class like we did, I don't know what we're going to do. But I'm optimistic. I believe in our captain. I believe in Captain Bruno. I believe in Rashi. I believe in the Kings. So even though it's suspended this week, right? On Sunday, the game's suspended. Yo, Duzzy, what's good? What's good, Duzzy, man? Yo, lazy mofos. That would be the most genius plan in the history of One Piece. Lazy Mofo says, and I quote, Law uses it on Kaido, the immortality surgery, on Kaido, and then uses the personality swap right before it's over and Kaido dies. That would be the most genius thing ever. That sounds like a theory that was brought back in the Wano days, right? That's a fun one, man. That's a fun one. What are you doing to my sister? You feel me, Nasty Ninja? Like, yo. This in Vortex says 7-0. Alright, hold on. Let me find the block. Let me find the block button for Vortex. Bro, I was talking to Jay because Jay. Well, never mind. We'll get on at a different time. We'll get on it at a different time. Yo, man. Look at that. See, right now I'm getting my notifications. Lineup confirmed. Real Betis. Who's making their debut? Eric Ten Hag made 4 changes for tonight's. Bro, let's talk about One Piece. Before we get lost. Here we go. What does Dofi think about all of this is what I want to know. Dude, Dofi's probably laughing. He's probably just having the time of his life, right? He's like, yo, the major incident that y'all caused because you took me down. He was warning them, like, yo, y'all should have never gotten rid of me. Y'all should have never gotten rid of me, man. That's all I know. Because I was the one holding Kaido down. Luffy and Koen Elbaf now will probably just be looking for the last load pone and then be avoiding any big war upstarts. So we need, man. You're kind of beautiful game enjoyer, comment W. You already know what it is, man. You already know what it is. Arsenal winning the league. I mean, it's looking like that. It's looking like that. It's postponed. Thank you, MSUHC. Yeah, it's postponed. That's right. It is postponed. Yo, Frodo Baggage, man, have a good one, yo. Have a good one, Subra. Have a good one. Take care, y'all. Bro, I'm from Manchester and love finding out that others are United fans. Much love, bro. Yeah, the case, I can't say Red was stupid. Don't worry, we're winning it all next year. You already know, man. You know how it is. You know how it is. No, but that's dope, yo. You actually being from Manchester is super cool. Because I live, of course, on the other side of the world, so seeing individuals actually live, like, bro, I can't even tell you how awesome it would be to be there, present for one of those games. Like seeing it on TV is one thing, but like I always say when it comes to, like, for example, just when it comes to like One Piece and like watching in theaters. Me watching a One Piece movie here and watching in the theaters with other fans, a completely different experience. A completely different experience. And so, it's just, man, actually being able to be there has got to be super dope. Super dope. You know, Salvador shot, I wouldn't be shocked if the Straw Hats get captured. I'm not gonna lie, I would be shocked. Just in terms of Oda being ambitious to the point to where he would allow something like that to happen. You feel me? Like, the Straw Hats being captured at this stage in the game, because I could see them having to escape to survive, them quote unquote losing and having to leave to recuperate, end off on Elbaf, whatever the case may be. Or them like attempting to escape, they end up getting shot to the moon, whatever the case may be. But them getting captured, that's when I'm like, oh man. That's when I'm personally like, my ankles are super broken. You feel me? Could you imagine that, Xavier Ortiz? Xavier Ortiz, Brooke will possess York and order the Seraphim to escort them. Could you imagine, dude? Brooke MVP if he does that. I'm telling you, Brooke MVP if he managed to do something like that. That would be super dope. Super dope. Vortex, I respect it, man. I really do. I really do. Alright? Because now I know in the future. Now, one of these days, Vortex. As a matter of fact, Vortex, the next time that either we go to Anfield or y'all come to Old Trafford, I might stream that game on Twitch. And it will be you and me in there. And we're going to see who comes out on top next time. Alright? So, we'll make it happen. We'll make it happen, Vortex. Mark my words. Mark my words, Vortex. Maybe. We might just have to do that in the future if I'm home. Because most of the time I'm not home when it comes to those episodes. But if I'm home, we'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. Also interested in the Zoro's Family line was released in the most recent SBS. Now Doll being at Egghead means Tashigi and Zoro reunion incoming. Zoro Tashigi Wano Lord drop. I mean, yeah. Maybe not necessarily. See, it's tough when it comes to the way Oda's doing things now, because there's a lot of stuff that is being left for data books and SBSs. But the reunion I can see. Tashigi Zoro reunion, I can see that happening very soon. Just like Smoker, I can see him reuniting with Luffy soon as well. But in terms of Tashigi Zoro Wano lore, that's when I'm like, I don't know. As much as I would love to see it, I don't know if we would see that right now. Shiamano says, how's the leg progress? Actually, never got how bad your injury was. I mean, it's still pretty. I'm still recuperating, but it's way better than it was last year. At least, like, now I can walk, I can run. It's just sometimes I'll be in the struggle. But, we're doing our thing, Shiamano, man. It's going great. It's going great. Yeah, Jack, it'd be a lot of fun, man. It'd be a lot of fun. High key would be a lot of fun, bro. Would be crazy if some of them did get captured. Perfect timing to bring Bon Clay at that point. Bon Clay. You know, oh, so you're saying they get fully captured down and sent to Impel Down. And because I know Impel Down 2.0 is a theory that's been prominent in the community for a couple of months now. But it being the entire crew that gets captured, maybe the entire crew minus one, or whatever the case may be, right? And because originally, of course, it being Luffy by himself, is like you can most certainly see the scenario where someone else has to escape, Impel Down, bring back Bon Clay, whatever the case may be. But if the entire crew gets sent back down there, my only problem with that from I know how Oda is standpoint, Oda doesn't like retreading old ground unless he has something new to go. So, like for example, when we returned to Sabaody, 2 years had passed, right? So unless, and I guess Impel Down 2 years have passed since then as well. So if we were to return to Impel Down, there would be that for it, brand new things there. But because we've already been there, it sort of lessens the probability that we will be going back. But this is Final Saga Oda we're talking about. I can't rule out any possibilities. I think Tashigi and Smoker might be coming under Doll's... Yes, me too, Vortex. Me too. And I wonder how they would react to everything going down here, especially if something happens, like whenever this major incident happens, how would they react to that both in real time and post? Because we know that Smoker's always been on his own sense of justice, never following orders from above. So how would he feel middle of this crazy event where they're trying to wipe out Egghead Island? How would they feel about that? And how would that change their course heading into the final saga with Smoker and Tashigi? I really wonder. And I hope they do arrive for that very reason, to see that conflict within them. And potentially Smoker could, go off in the sword type of side of all of this, where then after this we can see like Lucci aligning himself with that. I just wonder, like I said, because when you have someone like what's his face, Sentomaru, where Sentomaru has always been the bodyguard for Vegapunk, and now he is 100% against what they're doing here. It really makes me wonder if Instant Messenger Sama comes in and actually fires Uranus, or whatever happens here is like such a massive thing that it causes everyone's conflict inside of their own hearts to really make them waver in regards to whether what they're doing is actually correct. What will we see from someone like Kizaru? Because obviously we know how Smoker and Tashigi would react. We're already seeing how Lucci would react. Kizaru fascinates me because I don't know how deep his loyalty goes. Obviously Kuzan and Aokiji were on both sides of their extremes, so they naturally got to clash. But Kizaru's like right in the middle of it, right? So I don't know how he would react to potentially getting treated as a disposable weapon. I don't know. Yo, Amir Jalisi says, Arsenal fan here. Oh man, you gotta be eating good. Amir Jalisi is eating good. Despite Man United's recent misfortune, they have certainly improved under Erik ten Hag. Yo, improvement is an understatement. Improvement is an understatement. And you know what's crazy? Next season could be big for you guys. 100%. 100%. And the what's that called? The improvement to me is an understatement, because right now the situation is there's so many positions that are quote unquote not necessarily empty, but there's been so many injuries, and even with those injuries, the man has him in third place. I mean, he's just doing a marvelous job. It's like whenever you're talking about then going over into like American football, for example, right? Where you would see someone like let's put an example like a Tom Brady, who a couple years he had all defense, no offense. And you had to have him just deal with everyone that was around him, right? Like, didn't have a good receivers, whatever the case may be. He made it happen. And so whenever he actually got somebody that was good and like capable, we saw what took place right after that. that's what makes me like, holy Flagnards, yo. Because I love Weggy. I love Weghorst. But we get an actual striker there to work alongside Rashford and fill up the middle. Another solid defender in the back. Because, bro, the thing is, right, is it's the injury, bro. When the boys get back from injury, oh my god, yo. Like you said, we're gonna be eating next year. 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 But thank you, yo. I appreciate you, and nothing but love to you, man. Nothing but love to you. "100% Toshigi would foam over the mouth over Enma." Dude, Toshigi would be over the moon. Over the moon. Shiamano says, "Imagine if Toshigi seeing Wado and Enma together somehow triggers Queen and memories or something." If we see, especially after the clone thing, because obviously now that the clone thing has been brought out, everybody can be a clone, right? But that one's the one that I could actually see. So something happens there with Wado and Enma together, and Queen of memories are triggered. Dude, that would make us all like, oh man, here we go. We're really an endgame One Piece, like endgame One Piece, where we're getting an answer for the Toshigi and flipping Kuina comparison, right? Insane. Yo, Nation of Gamma Nation. I just have to ask. That is a reference to the faction from from Raw, right? From WWF, the Nation of Domination, with Rock and the boys. That is a very clever name. That is a very clever name. Nation of Gamma Nation comes in. Since this event becomes famous, you know something nuts must have happened. I'm guessing the power balance ends here. Well, the thing is, I love your name. We are the Nation of Gamma Nation. Yo, you're absolutely right, dude. And actually making a wrestling reference, it most certainly, what we're about to see is an incident of like heel turn, like Hall and Nash heading over to WCW and Hogan turning heel. Like we're seeing an incident of those types of proportions. We're seeing an incident of like Austin pulling up on McMahon, bang 316, and it's starting like a new era for the company where Vince comes out there and says it's an attitude era. I mean, what we're about to see is a complete change in momentum for the One Piece series. It's already been going extremely hard. After this incident takes place, whatever happens, it is going to take us in a like direct, like we're gonna know the course. Once we see what happens here, it'll become immediately apparent. The series going to an end starts here and continues on where we have to do whatever after. Right, like we're gonna see the course being set for the end of the series after that. It's gonna affect everything. It's gonna affect absolutely everything. Yatin says, "I think any kind of stare should bring back her memories." If I'm being honest, that's a factual statement. That's a factual statement. That's a factual statement. We are the Nation of Domination. Farouk, The Rock, Owen Hart. I forgot Owen Hart was in there, man. And D'Lo Brown. Shout out to D'Lo Brown as all with the head. Good times. Good times. Yeah, Lacey almost did the D'Lo Brown head shaking. Every time I think of D'Lo Brown, I think of the head shaking, man. Every time. Every time. All right, so I'm gonna wrap this up very soon because I do, like I said, I do have to get going. My phone is charged, so I can listen to the game. Oh man, dude, I'm super late, bro. We've been going for 2 hours, but it's the chapter, bro. The chapter was so good, man. I can't help it. The chapter was too good. Chapter was too good. Not sure if you talked about this in the past, but what do you think about Imu having the CC fruit? You've got Pluto, Uranus, Neptune as weapons, 5 Gorosei as other planets, and Imu as the Earth. So I have heard that before, MSUHC, but thank you for bringing it back up, because I feel like that theory is going to get better and better as time goes on and we continue to find out more about the One Piece world, right? So the more that we learn about the world itself, Instant Messenger Sama potentially, like you said, being the actual, the Mother Sea, quote unquote, the person who rules over the land. Stuff like that's going to become very prevalent, especially if we start getting more space stuff within the series. And by space stuff, I mean more names in regards to planets. We start finding out more about the 6 moons. And if we go to space ourselves, it's obviously, at the NL cover story showed us, it's going to be very, very important down the line. It's just that's type of thing for me that's just going to become more and more important as the time goes on. I love the idea that the Gorosei and the ancient weapons are potentially all named planets, because to me what that says is Instant Messenger Sama is so egotistical that he names everything under him as a planet because he believes he's the ruler of the world. He believes he's the ruler of the universe. And since he believes that the people who are under him should be the planets of the world, right? Where he's going to name something a Pluton, something a Uranus, something Poseidon, the names of either other godly figures or of planets themselves. And then he goes over and names, like St. J. Garcia Saturn, or something, Jupiter, like Recon Rodriguez Jupiter, whatever it is. It's like, for him, that's like the ultimate, like, yes, I am the ruler of it all, in name and in all. Y'all are all named after planets. Maybe they direct, because we don't know how deep it goes when it comes to them potentially coming from space first and arriving in the One Piece world. We don't know if St. J. Garcia Saturn comes from a line of individuals who actually comes from the planet Saturn after being made habitable. We don't know. We don't know how deep it goes. We don't know if life started here in the One Piece world, or did people come out from the One Piece world in space, arrived into the One Piece world, and then established a civilization in the One Piece world. We don't know. We don't even know if the One Piece world is potentially a planet who was previously inhabitable that became habitable. Now, I know this is all stuff that might not ever be brought up in the series, but it's interesting to think about if Instant Messenger Sama really believes himself to be this ruler of all things, and they come from outside first, then made their way into the current One Piece world, then it's not far of the realm possibility that the members of the Gorosei actually did come from other planets and or other moons, and that's where their bloodline is. Now, of course, that's a tinfoil thing, but I think it's just an interesting thought, right? For it to show just how egotistical Instant Messenger Sama is. We're either in name alone, or they're actually come from those places. He believes himself to be the ruler of all, which is why he named all of these things what he did. I think that's so interesting. Yeah, for real, Nation. Like, it's funny how all this happened because Kid Luffy and Law were arguing over the 3 routes. It's just hilarious. Small Dream says the S in PTSD stands for stairs. That's a fact. Yo, Snoop, thank you. I appreciate you. Yeah, sure, an amazing chapter. No break next week, man. The chapter is game-changing, Shiamano. It is. It is truly game-changing. And like Radloon says, remember, NL's still out there. And that would be an incident of historic proportions. We would be so hyped. Thank you, Lazy Mofos, man. Imu may be the false sun god. That is also true, Salvador shot, which would be great thematically. Imu is clearly the nicest guy. He's just too shy to show himself. Is that a Naruto reference? Imu is clearly the nicest guy. He's the coolest guy. He's just too shy to show himself. Imu-sama equals Emperor Palpatine. Oda loves Star Wars. That's a genuine possibility. I look forward to more Chihaya Fudu reactions. California Penguin, they will be coming. Both Chihaya Fudu and Kingdom. Definitely coming in the future. Imu is a nice person. He's going to get stabbed by Black Zetsu. So it is Naruto. Let me tell you something. If Imu gets stabbed by a Black Zetsu type thing, that Black Zetsu better be Blackbeard. That's the only Black Zetsu I'm accepting. That's it. or rocks. You know what I mean? That's it. That's it. No other black Zetsus. No other black Zetsus. But ladies and gentlemen, this has been One Piece chapter 1078. One of the... never mind. I was going to say one of the craziest chapters of recent memory. I can't say that. Every chapter has been one of the craziest chapters of recent memory. So, you know. Every single chapter that we've received lately feels like it is some of the craziest stuff in the series, and it has been. But this one in particular is going to be game-changing. We don't know, of course, the results of what's going to take place after this, but what we do know is that whatever happens here is going to lead us into a potential massive, massive change for the series moving forward. This major incident could potentially have consequences that we're going to see ringing until the very, very end of the story. So, what we're witnessing now on Egghead Island might be the great, huge, historic incident they talked about back in chapter 800 at the Dressrosa, the reason why we got the Grand Fleet in the first place. What will take place here, where they're comparing it to something way more severe than Ohara, and something on the same level as the God Valley incident? Who knows? But what I can tell you right now is that it looks like we have yet to reach the peak of this arc, and if that's true, Egghead Island it has the potential to be an all-time legendary One Piece arc. And it's already on that route, but if it really does end like Sabaody, where all of us are just shocked one way or the other, whether the Straws get defeated, or they take out a member of the Gorosei with Kizaru, and the newspapers say either Straws eliminated, or Admiral and Gorosei member, or the people don't even know about the Gorosei, but these individuals taken out, Egghead Island destroyed, the Straw Hats, whatever. If that happens, Luffy's bounty is gonna be like in the trillions. Luffy taking on a Celestial Dragon, a Celestial Dragon and an Admiral, he's gonna have 1 trillion, bro. So whatever happens here is obviously gonna be huge. Dragon could show up, Cross Guild could show up. So many great opportunities for characterization, internal conflict, thematic beauty in regards to certain things that could be discussed, and like genuine conversations to be had within an arc like this. And it's just we've been here for almost 20 chapters, and it's been such a marvelous arc. And so I will see y'all next time. Right after this goes live here and we end the stream, I am going to go into our memberships tab, and we're gonna put up the poll, or not the poll, the post, so that everyone can put out their theories and discussions, and we'll be back here on Sunday to discuss the future of Egghead Island, and on Saturday for the return of the One Piece anime, and hopefully tomorrow for JoJo Lands. So I will see y'all for what's bound to be a jam-packed weekend. Y'all have an awesome day. Take care. Thank you so much for the support and for being here. I appreciate y'all so much, man. The One Piece is real, and let me tell y'all something. And it's about to get crazier than ever. I will see y'all. Take care.